Hello everyone, Happy New Year, even though we're in February, and welcome to my channel. Yes, I know it has been a bit of a long break, but I think that it was necessary for me to rest and just detach from the YouTube space and come back mentally rested and I think mentally just ready to be here. I think that I ended off the year extremely fatigued and also doing vlogmas was a lot. So I needed the time to just recuperate and just regain my strength so I'm able to do what needs to be done in the right state. Now, if you're seeing my face for the very first time, hi, my name is Tori and this is Gracefully Tori. I really hope that you find this content wholesome and that you join the family. And if you are a returning subscriber, shareholders, where you at? Woo! Yay, oh my goodness, it feels so surreal to be back, but I feel very comfortable and I feel like I'm home. So I'm really excited to be back. So without wasting any time, I really want to get into today's video. I thought that it would be fitting for me to begin with a reflections video, starting off from January until December. You know what I've experienced. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like 2021 was literally 3 years in one. So much happened in so little time, and some of us have had to break off and grow in areas we never knew we could grow. We've been broken in places we never knew we could be broken. We've learned things. Our thought patterns and our minds have been shifted, and I really just want to document where I am right now as well as share it with you guys so that hela and 2023 starts, we're able to look back and say, okay, this is where we are, where we were, how much progress has been made, where do we need to now get more serious and keep pushing. So without wasting any time, let's see if I remember. Let's get into it. I'm going to start with these in no particular order, but I want to talk about grief. I think last year I experienced grief like no other, right? Losing a parent is something that I would never wish on anyone. And I think one of the greatest things, one of the biggest lessons that I learned, one of the eye-opening experiences that I had last year is that, even in your grief, life needs to some way or somehow go on. And you can choose to be miserable and to have a pity party and be woe is me, or you can choose to take the lessons and work steadily towards moving forward and progressing. One thing that I've learned, one thing that I've noticed rather, is that even in grief there is a lesson to be learned. Even in grief, even in your pain, in the midst of that physical pain, God is still speaking and God is still moving, and the onus is on us to decide. Honestly, it's a choice. You decide what you want to do. It doesn't happen instantly. It takes time. For me, it took months. And I gave myself that time. And I'm really grateful that, I gave myself that time, because sometimes people say, be strong. And I didn't want to be strong at that point, and I feel like my strength was allowing myself to be vulnerable and to go through everything that I was and still am going through. I think I found a part of myself in the midst of the grief as well, right? If you've watched my videos from last year, you will realize that I think around April, May last year, I was experiencing extreme burnout already, right? And so when the funeral came, like I was knocked over and I had to start building all over again. And I think it's still a process, but I'm making progress, right? And oh man, it challenged and it shaped and it reconstructed me in so many ways, and we've just grown. So, career-wise, okay, firstly, I don't really talk about, my career at length on like YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. I really leave that for like LinkedIn. So any communication or content that I feel like I want to share with regards to what I'm doing in my career will most definitely be on LinkedIn. So if you're interested in that kind of content, maybe you should follow me on LinkedIn. But I think last year was a necessary year. in my career. I've always known what I wanted to do. I've always known that I was passionate about comms. I was passionate about PR. That was nothing that I struggled with. Even when I finished grade 12, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. But one thing I think we don't learn at varsity is that just because you're passionate about a certain field does not automatically mean that once you get in there, you are going to thrive. You're going to go through a lot of learning and unlearning. I'm going to loosely use the word broken, right? You're going to be tested. You're going to have experiences. It's a whole new world, basically. And you need to be prepared for that. And you need to be open to take what you need to take from the lessons and use those as building blocks to get you to where you want to go. And I think last year was really great because I found myself and I found my voice, right? Last year was like an aha type of thing. I think with my career, I've always spoken about sometimes, the fear of failing, the fear of trying. And last year I tried, and last year I knocked on doors, and last year I moved, right? There were so many highs that I am proud of. I mean, of course, there were lows. I mean, such is life. But I really am proud of the highs and some of the achievements that I made in my career space. And I'm really excited about this year and just where God has now placed me. And I'm really excited and expectant really to grow even further and further cement myself in the comms space, really, and also just grow. I think above everything, I think this year I feel a sense of newness in my career, and I'm really just excited and ready to press on. It's almost as if all my working years were preparation for now and the future, now to the future. And I've soaked up so much, I've taken up so much, and I'm just ready to move. Mentally, I think last year was a very interesting year. I never shy away from talking about how I believe that therapy is of utmost importance. Last year, I think I went through, if not 3, 4 therapists, and with again, I'm not even ashamed. I think it was necessary. There was something to learn from all of them. But I think that one thing I heard, Dr. will say last year, and she's like an amazing, like mental health therapist counselor. I don't know where to position her. She said that finding your therapist can be compared to finding your perfect GP. Just because I feel like a GP is good with me and I'm cool does not necessarily mean that he will be great for somebody else, right? It's a trial and error thing. And I think once I learned that, I became more comfortable with my choices to part ways with a therapist and go find what I was really looking for, because at the end of the day, it's not about their feelings. It's not about making them feel good. It's about me and getting the help and the assistance and direction that I need. So I think once I got to my third therapist, I think that I was at a good place. I was at a good place. I was really comfortable with her. I didn't need to try be what I was not. I just laid my whole self before her. And unfortunately, because of, I think, unforeseen circumstances, can I call them unforeseen? But yeah, I just felt like I needed to change. So I found somebody else, and he was good, and we're still there. I actually need to go to therapy. But anyway, I think that for me, therapy has helped me get into my mind, right? It's taught me how to assess situations and get to the root cause of things. Sometimes, you wake up and you're on the wrong side of the bed or something upsets you. And it's taught me to actually question myself in the midst of that and say, but why are you upset? And I'll literally just have a brief meeting with myself and say, okay, this happened. as a result of that happening or that not happening. And as a result, Mamang said this, and I did one, two, three, and I found myself in this situation. And then I can start interrogating myself to weigh, whatever it is that I'm experiencing, and get to, okay, how do we deal with this? What is the way forward? And all of those things. So for me, therapy has been so great. It's made me comfortable with learning how to be vulnerable. I think for me, like, vulnerability is not a strong point, but I've learned how to start communicating my feelings, how I feel them, and being okay with the fact that I feel like I'm cutting myself open and having the whole world experience or see, not the whole world, even though it's just one person, it feels like the whole world, having that person see my innermost parts, which is something that I really used to shy away from. It showed me the relief of sharing your burdens and the importance of it, really, because sometimes we carry other people's burdens with them, but we never ever have a place of release or an outlet where somebody else can carry your burden with you. I've learned a lot from therapy. But I think that I'm gonna stop there. So, ministry wise, I'm gonna be the first to say that I really realized how much of a lonely place that leadership is, right? Sometimes we have, our youth leaders or our pastors, anybody of leadership in the church, and we distance ourselves from them because we feel like, umfundisi, yo, we-evangelist sibanyoni. And we take 10 steps back and we leave them on this pedestal that we have created for them, forgetting that they too are social beings, right? And when sometimes they even want to come and initiate conversations or initiate whatever, we have reservations and resistance because we feel like, ooh, and your leaders are social beings. They're people just like you are. And I think that firstly, let's continuously pray for our leaders because it's not easy, but also come closer to your leaders, right? I think it's of utmost importance, but come closer still understanding they are your leaders, and they won't always be as open really as you might expect or other people might be. Because I feel like there's still a portion of themselves that they still need to really guard, right? They need to guard their gifts. Not saying that we are bad people, but I think that there's some things that just need to be kept to self, right? And so I really experienced the loneliness of leadership last year, if I can be completely honest. But I also experienced joys in my leadership. I saw myself, I think, grow as a leader in the house. And there were many times I wanted to throw in the towel. I wanted to do my own thing. There were many times I wanted to go astray or just, say, this is not for me, I really can just sing and, worship and go home. But I'm laughing because this morning in church, the preacher spoke about how she had plans and desires for her life, and she was really pushing, and God was saying no, and God began publicly embarrassing her because she wanted to do what God was saying no about. And I think that's what I experienced last year. There were so many times I wanted to quit. There were so many times I wanted to do my own agenda, or to have my own agenda with regards to my life and my ministry and how I do things, just because of the heat and the pressure that I was experiencing. And I'd come to God and say, I'm done, I'm tired, I can't do this. And day in and day out, God will come and say, it's not about you. It's not about you. You're a vessel, and your plans and your thoughts are not necessarily what mine are. And as your father, that is not the direction I'm taking you to. And so I had to learn to be still and to submit and to constantly trust what God has in store for me. And I can safely say that in trusting God, I have seen his goodness. I have seen his provision. He has come through for me. He has showed himself strong in my life and in my ministry. And I continue to grow, and I'm excited about this year because I feel like really growth is the only way forward, is the only way. We might take a couple of steps back because such is life, right? However, I'm just excited to see God move in and through my life, and just to see where he's gonna take me. And I think in closing, last year I challenged myself to try. Yeah, I think I realized that I had very weird perfectionist tendencies, in the sense that everything had to be right and everything had to be my way. And if it wasn't the way that I thought it would be, or if I didn't think I would do it well, I didn't try at all. Right. And I think I've spoken extensively about how, I've missed opportunities, and, just things to do. My dreams have been shelved in silence because I never tried and I was afraid. So last year I really challenged myself to try, and I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself for trying. I've knocked on doors, I've gone to places I never fathomed I would ever, and it's because I've tried. And I think I went into so many of my dreams and my aspirations with, the mentality of, I'm just going to try. For me, trying, sending in that email, walking into that door, that was the biggest win ever. Regardless of what outcome, would result, that really was the least of my worries. I challenged myself to try and stand up for myself, to try and speak up for myself, to try and work on the dreams that I had and the visions that I had for myself. And I did exactly that. There is so much more that I really do want to do in my life. And I'm just grateful for the foundation, because I know that from here, we can only go up, sweetie. And I think I'm going to wrap up there. There is so much that I can speak about with regards to 2021. It was a roller coaster of a year, and I'm excited about this year. One thing I believe is that me also, at the end of this year, that video that was trending on TikTok, thank you for the happiest year of my life. This year is going to be the happiest year of my life thus far. I claim it, I receive it, I walk into it. Last year wasn't so good, but we're moving, and we've gathered so much that is going to help us in this year to grow and to be better. So I'm really excited about this year. Comment down below, what was your biggest lesson last year? What are you excited about in 2022? And let's have a conversation. And before I close off this vlog, I'm sure you've been wondering what this beauty here is doing. No, she's not just here for decorative purposes. But if you did watch my Vlogmas, you would have seen this bottle. If you haven't, please go watch Vlogmas. It was really amazing. I got this at our youth secret Santa. I got this bottle from Sofina. And I did say that at the end of Vlogmas, I would pop the bottle, but it was just a mess at the end of Vlogmas, and I really wanted to start this year with this girl, and just set the tone for the year. Really, I don't drink alcohol, but I believe in popping bottles. It just brings that, you know what? So without wasting any time, let's do what needs to be done. I'm actually really scared because obviously I am not a professional. Okay, I get lab on. Okay, just for the bazalwane. It's non-alcoholic. I've never had this. It's the House of JC LaRue non-alcoholic Le Domaine sparkling white. I'm so scared. I hope it doesn't break anything. I believe this is the beginning of celebrations this year. Please, like I always say, I don't drink wine, I don't drink alcohol, so I don't even know if this is like the right bottle. So really, I'm toasting to grace, goodness, growth, and gratitude in 2021, moving into 2022. Here. Interesting. Interesting. So thank you for watching. Let's meet again in the next video. I'm sure it'll be very, very soon. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Like, comment, and share this video and this content with everyone. Really, literally everyone.